We had just escaped Bavel, and now we're traitors. Let's see what's going on.
Wonder what Yunie'll do, huh? Think she'll quit her pilgrimage?
That's what you want, right?
Well, if Yunie really wants to keep going, then I guess I shouldn't stop her, you know? That's what I think anyway.
Riku. Everyone agrees. Excuse me. We should not make Yuna. Why did sudden change your heart though, Riku? Like, excuse my hiccups. You wanted Yuna to be saved. And now you just like, frick all that and let her do what she wants.
I wonder if there's a way to perform the final summoning and not die. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Probably.
Yuna's off in the woods. Kumari's with her, but maybe you should go too.
Must be tough for Yuna.
Maybe you should talk to her?
Alright, let's go. Let's go find Yuna and see the most famous scene in this game. Oh, we can't go that way. Excuse the hiccups. Back to not talking Kumari.
I always thought that this would be easier somehow.
What's difficult?
I thought that everyone would help me, with all my friends together beside me. I've been trying so hard.
Wow.
Maybe you're trying too hard. They told me everything.
Everything? Well, so then, you know.
What do you know?
Yeah.
There's really
I'm
no
sorry.
place to joke with this, so I'm just gonna stay quiet.
It's just, you know, all those things I said. Like, let's go get Sin, or about Xanarkand. I didn't know what would happen to you, Yuna. I guess... I hope it didn't make you sad. Forgive
This
me.
scene right here with all this sappiness.
I wasn't sad. I was happy.
Yuna! Just don't do it.
The pilgrimage?
Yeah. That's right. Forget all about Sin. About being a summoner. Forget all of that. You know, live a normal life. Come on now, Yuna, what do you say?
Can't. Somebody has to do it.
Maybe I will.
Devil. Oh, well, she said she would. Wow, I'm surprised. Way to get cold feet. Alright, I kind of want to skip this scene because there is an iconic scene that I don't want to get copyrighted for.
Yeah.
So I'm going to skip it up.
Except Riku.
I can't
She'd be
skip
with
it.
you.
Dang it.
Lulu and Waka wouldn't hold out long.
Kumari would say yes too, I know. But Sir Auron...
I'll make him understand, Yuna. It's the least I can do for you.
No, I should tell him. He deserves it. What'll I do if I give up my pilgrimage?
Hey, Zanarkand. Let's go to Zanarkand. Not the one in Spira, the one I'm from. Yeah, we can all fly there. Everyone can go. Then we'll have a big party at my place.
Yay,
And then we
Oh,
could
excuse
see
me.
Blitzball.
That's
My
right.
bad.
Your
was
Zanarkand
weird.
Aves would play?
Yeah.
We could all watch you play in a stadium all lit up at night. I'd cheer and cheer till I couldn't cheer anymore.
Yeah, right on.
Well, what about after the game?
We'd go out and have fun.
In the middle of the night?
No problem. Zanarkand
Okay.
never sleeps. Let's go to the sea. Before the sunrise. The city lights go out one by one. The stars fade. Then the horizon glows, almost like it's on fire. It's kinda rose-colored, right? First in the sea, then it spreads to the sky, then to the whole city. It gets brighter and brighter, till everything glows. It's really pretty. I know you'd like it.
I'd like to see it. Someday.
Well, you can, Yuna. We can both go. You...
I can't.
Wow. Okay. This is
I
the
just
sad
can't.
part where she starts weeping.
I can't go.
Remember how I told you the Japanese, the English part changed like almost everything? The English part changed almost everything about this scene. Nothing is as it once was. Okay, so yeah, like I thought this scene would be blocked because it's a copyrighted scene. And audio is also blocked because of the same reason, so they're just singing a silly little song that I'm gonna talk over to avoid copyright. Copyright. This scene is copyrighted. So I've been playing this game for about, 2 weeks? I don't even remember. I'm ready to be done with it so I can move on to X-2. After X-2, I will move on to 12. I'll move on to 12. And then after that... we got 3 more games that I'm gonna play. Final Fantasy X-2, Final Fantasy 12 Zodiac Age, and then after that I'll probably do the DLC for Life is Strange. I'm looking out for Dragon Age 4, but they tell about it's gonna be like 4 or 5 years from now. And also I am waiting on Horizon Zero Dawn. The new edition came out. And I can't wait to play that one. Horizon
I'll
Zero
continue.
Dawn.
I must.
Horizon Zero West, my bad.
If I give up now, I could do anything I wanted to. And yet, even if I was with you, I could never forget.
Okay, so we're gonna start
I'll go with
battling
you.
less and rush the story a little more.
I'm
Seen
your
one
guardian.
battle. If you've seen one battle, you've seen a million of them. I didn't want to talk over them in this moment. It's a little touching moment where the two of them decide that they are in a relationship. But anyways, bless her soul, be strong. I'm going to battle less, but I don't want to battle too less because if I do, then I'll be weak against Seymour. But Lulu's already in her 3rd tier of magic, so we pretty much should be able at our current level to just speed through the game, but we'll see how it goes.
Unless I'm fired.
Stay with me. Until the end. Please.
Not until the end. Always.
Gonna regret those words, Tedious, because you know you're gonna disappear.
Always then.
Why did they make Kimari smile
Maybe.
right there?
You should head back to camp first.
I think it was more of a frown and they edited it
Roger.
to make it look like he smiled because I don't think Kimari was exactly happy about this. But it's not like he can control Yuna. Alright. Okay, so that's that. You can't get any closer, so
Wait. I'll go with you.
This scene doesn't have the impact it had on me when I first played the game. And Yuna whistled to let him know, like, you said, if I whistle, you'll come running. Don't forget that. It has all the more power when you see the final scene. But we're about to move to the Calmlands. And so I'm going to make that a different video because it's going to run a little long. The English dub does not really do its job, sorry to sound like a broken record, to portray the story. It took out a lot of the adult themes to fit for a younger audience, and because of that, everything gets jumbled around. Like you don't get told that Jet was an abusive father who was an alcoholic. You don't get told what they would do to Al Bed, such as lock them in cages and kill them. You don't get told how racist Waka was towards Riku when they first met. He threw a rock at her and made her bleed and even laughed in her face about her people dying in Biganel. You don't get told how Orin was originally, until the end of the story anyways, a maester who was married to a famous woman or something, but he fell out of maesterhood some type of way. There's a lot that they don't show you, like when Kimari was, they don't show you how Kimari broke his horn. They cut out a lot of stuff. You were told how he broke his horn and how Biran and Yankee were not his friends. They were the ones who broke his horn when he was younger. And they were basically his bullies, but they were way more than just bullies. They were picking on Kimari because he didn't have a mother. And so everyone in this story has their own background. Lulu had been on another pilgrimage, and on top of dating Waka's brother, I think was just an add-on, so it wouldn't look like she didn't belong like the other characters. But she was originally on another pilgrimage, and her summoner died because Lulu wasn't strong enough to protect her, and it really messed her mind up. Then she came to Besaid, where she met Waka and Yuna, and they decided to look after her together, where they started to bud feelings for her because they both lost their parents to sin. Waka again told you how he's always hated the Al Bhed since he was young because his brother was a fan of Machina, and it was Al Bhed who basically got him fascinated with Machina because he was friends with an Al Bhed. And because of that fascination, he joined Yevon people, or whoever they were called, the Crusaders, and he got crushed by sin and killed. Waka ever since has had a hatred for the Al Bhed because the teachings, he's very faithful, and the teachings say that Al Bhed are forbidden. I'm not going to drag this on, but you're starting to see a connection, right? A lot of the stuff was cut out. Tedious, again, looks only like Waka's brother, as they only mentioned in the beginning of the game, because of the fact that he was summoned by sin. Tidus is a sin spawn. Tidus, whatever you want to call him. He is, or originally Sin sent him to kill Yuna because Yuna was going to be the one to stop him. And so, just like all the other Sin spawn are supposed to kill other summoners, Sin took his time to make Tidus, who would get close to the summoners, gather information on them, and report it back to his father. But somewhere along the line, he fell in love with Yuna, and he decided he wanted to turn against his own father to fight for her. And so what he said at that scene was, I'm not just going to stay with you till the end, I'm going to stay with you always, because he decided that he's going to find a way to stop his father. He no longer wants to help his father. And so there's a lot of good themes in this show. Every one of the characters, Lulu with her summoning, and Kimahri with his broken horn, Waka with his hatred and racism, and Riku with her hatred of, well, she doesn't really hate Yevon, but they've been cruel to her and her people for centuries. They even burned down her original home, so her father had to find them another home. Tidus with his, he says sometimes he just feels he doesn't belong because he's not even alive. He is a sin spawn / faith, a summon, just as the other faith, just as Baphomet, Ilfrit, and all of them. He's just a summon. His only purpose is to help Yuna. So he became torn. At some point in the game, Yuna decided that she wanted to turn Tedious, who was originally a sin spawn, into a faith, and she did that by making a bond with him, the same as she did with Valfor when you first seen Valfor get summoned. So basically, she established a contract with him, and because of that, he was no longer an ordinary sin spawn that could kill people at any moment. He was now bound by Yuna. Likewise, Waka was the original person who summoned him here, because sin spawn are the wishes and hopes and dreams of people who are left behind. So it was originally Waka who called him. He went to everybody. He went to Riku because she hated Yevon because they killed all her family, and they killed and burnt down her home. And then he went to go see Waka, who basically put him where he was supposed to be. He formed a bond with everybody. You have Orin, who hates Bevel because of the fact that they tried to attempt murder on his life, all because he told a woman that he did not want to marry her. And then Kimahri, who's been bullied and outcast by his own people because he was born without a horn, when it was actually them two boys, Biran and Yinki, who broke his horn. And then you have Lulu, who's basically struggling to accept the fact that because of her reluctance to do her job, her summoner died, and she lives with that guilt. So all of them have a hatred towards Yevon. And they really cut all of that out of the game. And it's really sad because it was such a beautiful story. But they cut all of that out because some of the themes were too violent, like how they threw rocks at Riku and how they killed her mother in front of her. How Orin was locked in jail and beat on constantly. How Kimahri was cut and tortured. He didn't belong with the humans, didn't want him, and his own people didn't want him. It was too much violence, so they edited all of that out in the American dub, and they put it back together as best they could. But because of that, a lot of stuff that should have been making sense by now Makes no sense at all. So let's continue because we're almost at the end. For instance, right here, Riku was actually saying to Tidus, they cut out the part of the game. Tidus was not a good person at the beginning of the game. Let me tell you why. He met Riku first. They established a connection together, just like he met Wakka, and they established a connection together. He, though, formed a love bond with Riku too. And so when he tapped her on the shoulder, he was basically saying, all right, I found the one I really want, so go away. And that's why Riku just sat there like she did. And Lulu just waved her hand because, you know, in that moment in the game where you were allowed to say, where Lulu said, stay away from Yuna or don't fall in love with Yuna, you were allowed to say, you're more my type, Lulu. So it was actually an option in the original game where you could choose who you dated. But they cut all that out and made it so that you have only Yuna. You have only Yuna. So back then it was Lulu, Riku, or Yuna. But then in the final post they were just like, you choose Yuna. So yeah, I hate how they cut out a lot of this stuff. But I'll try my best to tie it together.
Sir Auron? Wakka? Lulu? Kimahri? Riku? Everyone, we leave at dawn.
So yeah, the one thing they all share is they all hate Yevon. Wakka turned against Yevon too because he realized how they were lying to him his whole life and how his brother died for a pointless war. So he who was once entirely faithful started to ask questions too. So they're all tied by the same string, that they all agree that something has to change. The summoners have to stop dying for such a pointless reason.
And I'm sorry for putting you through all this. And
Enough. You need your rest.
Yes. Good night.
So yeah, I hope the original story is able to shine through in all this confusion. Alright, I'll be back in the next chapter because we gotta decide where we're going. And that is... I forgot where we're going. I think we're going to the Calmlands. So I'm gonna go back in here and get this treasure chest. Lucid Ring, that's got something to do with dreaming. Don't forget to look out for jet spears. They're in random places. And Albed primers too. Let's see what Lucid Ring does. That should be for Yuna. Silence Ward, Confuse Ward, not bad. While we're at it, let's go to organize the items. Hey, did you hear? They're saying there was a riot in Bevelle. So this is Bevelle, isn't it? I don't even know. You can't enter Bevelle now. The guard is in full alert, you know. So just go back to where you came from. Got it. I don't know if this is the way we're supposed to go. Here goes Spear. Jet Spear. These give Auron new overdrives.
Who are you? You are the one they called Jecht. The man from Zanarkand, are you not? What of it?
Watch your tongue, knave.
Ah, my apologies. I am Braska, a summoner. I've come to take you from this place. Sounds sweet. What's the catch? That easy to see, was it? I soon leave on a pilgrimage to Zanarkand. Seriously? I would like you to join us. It will be a dangerous trip. Yet, if we do reach Zanarkand, my prayers will be answered, and you will be able to go home, we think. What say you?
Great, let's go.
So quick?
Anything to get out of here.
Then it's settled.
But I must protest. This drunkard, a guardian? Hey! You want to step in here and say that?
What does it matter? No one truly believes that I, a fallen summoner wed to an Al Bhed, could possibly defeat Sin. This is what they say. No one expects us to succeed.
Braska, sir.
Let's show them they're wrong. A fallen summoner, a man from Zanarkand, and a warrior monk doomed to obscurity for refusing the hand of the priest's daughter. What delightful irony it would be if we defeated Sin.
Stop gabbing and get me out of here. Free at last.
Now, Jecht. I am in your hands until we reach Zanarkand.
Right. So, what's a summoner anyway?
What's a summoner? Like father, like son. I'm supposed to meet my husband here, but he hasn't shown up for the longest time. I'm supposed to meet my dad here, but he's late. Okay, so I don't know which way to go. I'll be back in a second with the next video where we figure out where we're going. Oh, hey.